Lesko from Arizona for 5 minutes of questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Assistant Secretary Egeron, Chairman Winstrup is a very respected, rational legislator, and he's not one to exaggerate. So I've seen him probably the most upset that I've seen him in this committee hearing. And when he says to me and the public that your Department of Health and Human Services has not been responsive, I believe him, and I think everybody should believe him, because he's not somebody that just says things for exaggeration. He's a very serious person. My question to you, ma'am, is on August 23rd, 2023, this committee sent the Department of Health and Human Services a letter regarding an illegal biolab in California. However, the committee received less than 50 documents after sending this letter, all of which were already publicly available. Were you aware that the committee was seeking documents responsive to biosafety, in particular labs in California?
Congresswoman, I am aware that the committee sent a letter on August 23rd and then a subsequent letter in September, and we've produced documents in response to those, both of those letters.
Did you ever identify responsive custodians, and if so, when?
Congresswoman, we produced responsive documents to that request.
Can you answer the question?
I'm happy to take that question back.
How come you don't know anything? Aren't you in charge of this? I mean, when the chairman asks you questions, you don't know, you just say, I'll take it back? You don't have a whole staff behind you that can give you the answers?
Congresswoman, I am here in my role as the Assistant Secretary for Legislation to talk about the responsiveness overall of our
Right, so you'd think you'd be prepared. I would think you'd be prepared, obviously not. When did the department first conduct custodial interviews?
Congresswoman, the documents were produced within 2 weeks of the, double check my math, I'm sorry. We produced within a month of receiving the first letter, within 2 weeks of receiving the second letter.
Is that an answer to the when did the department first conduct custodial interviews?
Congresswoman, what I'm saying is we have been responsive to this request and this information.
So you don't know
I do
when
not
you
know
first did
specific-
custodial interviews?
Congresswoman, I do not know the specific date. I'm here to talk about how we have been responsive and how we have made sure that we have met the...
How many documents have you identified as responsive?
Congresswoman, I do not have that number before me, but again, we have been responsive.
How many have gone through the review?
Congresswoman, again, we have produced responsive documents.
I find it very hard to believe that somebody that is in charge of this, that knows that they're coming in front of a committee that has for a year requested information, knows nothing, and will just get back to us, even though you probably won't get back to us because you haven't for a year. And with that, I yield back.